we are going to unpack what everyone is talking about, the NAR settlement and how it affects you, your business, and the industry as a whole. Welcome back to another episode of All or Nothing in Real Estate. I'm your host, Matt Smith, founder of All or Nothing in Real Estate. This podcast is a movement to give back to this industry that has given so much to me and my family. And today we are going to unpack what everyone is talking about, the NAR settlement and how it affects you, your business, and the industry as a whole. So before I dive in and just start yelling at you, let me introduce Ryan.
What's up, guys?
Ryan asked Ryan's been on the show. He's regular. If you're a first-time listener, Ryan is a top-performing agent on our team. Goes to a lot of these events and been around a long time. Helped create the team, our team, Matt Smith Real Estate Group, back in the day from the basement, and we've been a part of this journey for a long time. So interested to hear his thoughts and perspectives in the middle of me yelling, because I'm very, very passionate about this. Ryan asked, what are we going to talk about today? I said, I just need you to sit down, and whenever I stop yelling, you kind of help keep us on track, because
see what I can do.
Because this is there's clickbait everywhere. There's all everyone saying the sky is falling, and oh my God, what are we going to do with this lawsuit? I got to go get a real job now. And I'll just tell you that. Let me be clear first before I start yelling. Number one, there are unknowns. There are changes. There are things that will change in the industry. But change is the only constant in life. Just adapt and overcome. And every change and challenge, there's an opportunity if you look at it that way. And so for those of you that are looking at this through a pessimistic, oh my God, how am I going to feed my family? How am I going to grow my business? I understand. I'm sympathetic to a point until you start playing the victim card. And I see all these people that do nothing but looking through a negative lens and saying, how this is going to, I got to go get a real job now. And oh my God, I can't believe the NAR did this. Control the controllables. Quit focusing on the things you can't control and focus on what you can control. Let's break down what actually is happening right now. The NAR is in a proposed settlement that the only major changes, this is my opinion, not a fact, I'm not an attorney, but this is my opinion. The only major changes of the NAR settlement that is proposed, not even finalized yet, is if these changes take effect, which they probably will happen in July, and the MLSs will not allow buyer's agent compensation to be advertised in the MLS. And another proposal of it that's a major factor is that buyers need to be represented and not unrepresented buyers just going willy-nilly anymore. Guess what? That means it's a free market for buyers just like it is for sellers. And quit showing people houses that you aren't representing.
Yep.
Like, there's nothing crazy now, are there unknowns? Are there uncertainties? Could things change in certain areas? Sure, there could. However, I look at this as an opportunity, and I'm going to focus on solutions. What is your value proposition to a seller right now? Why should someone pay you 6% or 7% or 10% or 20% or whatever your fee is? Why should someone pay you that? Guess what? Create that same proposition, those same values for a buyer, and you will be just fine. You have to have the value and be able to articulate the value. Those of you that are scared and have that scarcity mindset, I want to remind you of something. There's a reason that discount brokerages, there's a reason that Zillow offers, there's a reason that OfferPad, there's a reason that AI has not taken over the real estate industry. It is a very complex and complicated process. There's a reason that FSBOs 95% of FSBOs end up listing with an agent. They try to do it on their own and they can't. So if you have value, you have a skill set, you're willing to work through these, navigate these changes, this is a great thing for the consumer, which means it's a great thing for the industry. I believe, here's my prediction, there will be agencies, there will be agents, there will be new business models created out of this, all that will happen. But there will also be people that understand the opportunity that is happening here with this change. They will take advantage of it, and they will use this as an opportunity to give themselves a raise because they have more value to deliver to the marketplace. Guess what? Consumers will pay more when there's more value. Cost is only an issue in the absence of value. So if you are a glorified door opener right now as a buyer's agent, yes, go look for a real job. But if you are willing to put in the work, willing to develop the skills, willing to articulate the value you have, and be able to negotiate on your own behalf, just like you should in this profession, just like we do for all the sellers that we represent, you will be just fine. Not only will you survive, you will thrive.
Like you said, there's a lot of unknowns, but it's going to hopefully weed out people that aren't taking great care of clients, are providing value. And those are people that are going to fall out of being a real estate agent anymore and go get a real job. But for the people that work hard, overcome, adapt, create value propositions around helping buyers, those buyers are going to get a better service, and you're likely going to have a lot more business as an agent.
100%. Like, there is so many people out there that are like, again, they're just, go look anywhere. It's all over social media. It's all over, there's clickbait everywhere. Real estate agents will compensation cut in half. No, it's not. The way you are getting compensated will change. But guess what? How have we operated since day one, Ryan? How do our buyers process? What's the first step in our buyers process?
Have a meeting, get a buyer's agency.
Get a buyer's agency agreement, because guess what? We want to represent you in the biggest purchase of your life. You need someone in your corner. Allow us to help and serve you. If you're not doing that, you should have. Because why do you do it with a seller, not a buyer?
We're doing them a disservice if we're just a glorified door opener.
That's right. And there's too many agents that are that. Most of those got out of the business in 2023 when things changed, right? Because they're not wanting to adapt to the change. And I think most successful real estate agents would agree, and most open-minded, bigger thinkers in this business would agree, that the 70,000 agents that got out of the business last year was a good thing for the industry. Well, guess what? So is this. The ones that will adapt, that will change, this is a massive opportunity if you choose to look at it through that lens. And again, let me add the asterisks. There are unknowns. There are uncertainties. There will be changes. And there's things that we don't know and won't know. Oh, well.
Some logistics may get tougher, more paperwork, something about to happen.
But think about it from this perspective. Sometimes we are handcuffed, and how real estate is done today, before this July change takes effect, sometimes we are handcuffed by what we get compensated as a buyer's agent, by what the listing agent offered in the MLS. That changes with this. It is no longer offered in the MLS. Buyer's agents negotiate their own commission with their client, with the seller, just like a listing agent does with the seller. So you are in charge of how much you get paid now. That is a good thing or a bad thing, depending on your activity, your effort, your skill, and the value you're willing to provide.
Yeah,
I look at it as a good thing.
And conversation is going to change on the listing side, where you've got negotiation power there as a seller, and being able to add value to potential buyers by being willing to pay their commission, just like you do now.
Dude, I saw something that was a great post. There was a document that I saved that I'm going to try to I'm going to get some approval from a broker and stuff with EXP, but that I believe we'll probably add as an addendum to our listing contract. And it was very simple. At the top in bold, it said, the way sellers pay commission has changed. And it just had a little details on 2 boxes. Check. I want to offer competitive compensation to a buyer's agent to show maximum opportunity to expose my property to the most amount of people and sell it for the most amount of price. Or no, I don't want my property to get maximum exposure. No, I don't want all the things that you don't want, right? Like, and it just said there, as a seller, you're in control of how much you charge, but here's also the repercussions, right? If you don't offer compensation to a buyer's agents aren't going to show it, right? Like, it's pretty simple. If you don't offer compensation and a buyer has to pay their own commission for your house. So let's just break this scenario down of a hypothetical, but I've thought through. Ryan has his house listed for $300,000, and he's not offering any commission to a buyer's agent. Ryan's neighbor has their property listed for the same price, but they're offering compensation to a buyer's agent. Same exact builder, same exact condition. Which property is going to sell faster and for more money? By far, the neighbor that is willing to offer buyer compensation, because you need a buyer's agent. Again, buyer's agents are needed. The good ones are needed in this marketplace. Otherwise, all these 1-800-OFFER companies would have taken over the industry.
Yeah.
But they didn't, right? Because there's local market data, there's education, there's skill set, and people want to work with people when they're making the biggest purchase of their life. And so if you're willing to articulate that value, you're willing to build those skill sets, provide that value, you will dominate in this industry.
100%.
I think that one of the things that I saw in a couple, and I've done a lot of research on this, and I think and listened to a lot of big industry players. And one of the things that they said is that this gives a fair playing field to everyone. We're in a capitalist economy. Guess what? It just got more capitalism for real estate. For me, sign me up, right? The strong will survive. The ones that can show the most value will get the most money. That's how the world should work.
Yep.
That's what this does. It no longer handcuffs us to say, well, this listing is offering this percent and this offering that percent. Here's what I charge as the buyer's agent, right? And let me add some asterisks, just some important nuances. So we are in a government loan market. One of our markets is pretty heavy VA loans. And I believe, and I've seen forecasts from very highly educated people, that will have to change with this ruling. So we'll see what that happens, because as of now, the VA you cannot charge a buyer compensation to represent them. Do you remember that verbiage?
Not exactly, but yeah, basically, a veteran buyer cannot pay any real estate commission.
Yeah. And so here's already a loophole that I've found that is being looked into by the chief strategy officer of EXP. I was on a call with him, and he knows someone high up in the VA funding world. And he said that what he has proposed to him is, instead of saying a commission, what if he charges a concession, because the sellers can pay buyers concession. Now, per this lawsuit, that is a concession, and that's how it will be negotiated, is one of the proposals. So that could change everything, right? It's no longer a commission, it's a concession. It changes everything. And so regardless, is that those that say, well, how's it going to work in this market? How's it going to work in that market? We don't know for sure. But what I do know is that there will be a solution.
Yeah. There's not going to be a situation where agents just can't make any money, because if it's a value exchange, you are providing a service, there's going to be compensation around that. It's not just going to go away, and there is value there. And like you said, there's so many nuances with local markets. There's so many details. There's emotions whenever it comes to buying or selling a house, that, just a discount brokerage that doesn't have any involvement, or an AI situation, it just can't solve those problems.
It can't. Now, will there be opportunities like that in different business models that maybe take some market share? Certainly. There's always business models being involved, no matter what the economy is. And so there will be some people that do that. But for the most part, and again, I want to say this again. If you're willing to take the activity required, willing to learn the skills, apply the skills required, learn value propositions, articulate that value, exceed clients' expectations, and be what a real estate professional should be for the clients, you will not only win in these changes, but you will fucking dominate. The people that will lose, the people that will struggle, are the ones that don't understand the importance of what being a professional is. Like, think about it from this perspective. What other industry? Tell me another industry where you don't get compensated higher for the value that you bring. The more value you bring, the more money you make. That's America. That's not always been the case in real estate, because we are handcuffed with some of these restrictions, right? So this, again, offers the opportunity for a fair market. And who says that there needs to be a standard commission offering? What do you charge? What is your value? Right? Like, we have options. Part of our package for our sellers have options. Guess what we'll have for buyers? We'll have options. And let them pick the package that makes the most sense for them. How much value do you want? What is your situation? How can we cater this to meet your needs? If you're willing to adjust and adapt to that, you will be just fine. But I think that we just get stuck in, that's the way that we always used to do it, and that's how it always has been. And sure, change is scary for some people. It's hard. I get it. But if you're not willing to adapt and evolve, then you're just going to be left behind, because change is inevitable. Change doesn't have to be a bad thing. Change and evolution, like all of these changes that are happening in our industry right now, are a massive opportunity for those that choose to look at it that way. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. If you just become a victim of the circumstance, you're not going to find those solutions and not going to have any success.
So I love this analogy, and people will say, well, Matt, this is different, right? But we're real estate professionals. Whether you can discount your services, you can discount your value, you can discount your title, all that you want, but I won't. You are a real estate professional. You get to help people the biggest purchase and sale of their lives on a daily basis. It is time we step up and we act like it. As an example, if you go to get surgery, you need heart surgery tomorrow. Are you going to go to the surgeon that's the cheapest? You're going to go to the one that's got a proven track record. Heart surgery is important in your life. Guess what? Buying or selling a home is important to people's lives. They want to work with a professional that can articulate the value, has a skill set that will help navigate this process for them. Because the average American buys and sells a home every 7 to 9 years, something like that. They're not experts on it. We are. Just like I'm not an expert in heart surgery. Like, I want someone that is the best, that is proven.
Want to be led through that process.
Right.
And have confidence in it.
And you can say, well, buying and selling real estate isn't heart surgery. No, it's not. But understand the point there is that true professionals in other industries, people are looking for value. And it's not just about what it's costing, what value are they receiving? And what value are you providing? And the more value you provide, the higher you will be compensated, the more business you will get, period. There's a reason that I'll be willing to bet, I don't know the doctor industry, but like, stay with me here. If you're with me on this surgeon analogy, I'd be willing to bet the surgeon that charges the most money, that has the best track record, is also the busiest. Think about that for a second. Do they go to the cut rate surgeon that can get me in tomorrow? Or do they schedule an appointment? Do they follow the process? Do they want to work with someone that has a proven track record of success, that is willing to articulate the value of why you should go to them and not someone else, and show you the value of why getting this surgery will help you? It's a similar process. Now, I'm not trying to say like a heart surgeon and a real estate agent on equal playing fields, but they're both professionals. And I think we discount the importance of what we do way too often. We take it for granted because we've just been able to be glorified door openers for way too fucking long. And it's time that it changes. It's time that it steps up. How do I start this podcast every single time? I do this to give back to the industry that's given so much to me. I step up to provide value to you guys so you can be better, because I think buyers and sellers, our communities, deserve better. And if you follow along and you follow these processes, I promise you, we will change the industry for better because of this change. Like, I think about our local marketplace. And Ryan, you've been with me for a long, long time. I know for a fact, I say this all the time, in our local market, every buyer and every seller gets better service today than they did before our company existed, even if they don't work with our company. Because of the standards we have created, because of the value we have provided, everyone else has had to step up their game. Everyone wins. It's a free market.
Yep.
That's what is going to happen nationally. And those that choose to look at this as an opportunity, to look at this as it's time for me to step up as the professional that I am, be better, have a better skill, provide more value, exceed people's expectations, think creatively, be a thought leader in the space, educate and inform, those people will dominate even more than they already do. I think the 80-20 rule is very, very important in life. Like almost everything, 80-20 rule is very close. Like it's a principle, it's like almost a law of life, right? But real estate is even more extreme. 93% of people in real estate 7% of people in real estate make 93% of the money. That's today. Let's say it again. 7% of agents make 93% of the money. Now, someone's going to say, Matt, that's not true. I read a stat that said that, and I bet it's pretty damn close, right? The average real estate agent will make more money working at McDonald's than they do in real estate. Guess what? Those people need to go work at McDonald's. Right? Like, it's not right. It's not wrong. It is what it is. Go get a real job. Cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you choose to be a real estate professional, be the fucking professional. Step up. This is an opportunity for you to become the best version of yourself, create a career that can change your life and change the lives of others. We are able to help people the biggest purchase or sale of their fucking lives. Take it serious. And if you're not taking it serious, get out of the way so that we can help more people. That's all I look at.
Well said. Yeah, and I mean, my favorite quote, I've said this on here before, is be undeniable. You need to be undeniably great at communicating with clients. You need to be undeniably great at conveying your value. You need to have undeniably great value to provide. You've got to be undeniably the best option for them to use to help them through such a big, important process.
100%. I think it's important too. This isn't just Matt's theory, right? Like, if you're like, Matt, you're full of shit, I don't believe you. Cool. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'm open to it, but prove me wrong by doing the work, right? Show me. Go work on your skills every day. Take the activity required. Articulate your value at a high level and do that for a consistent basis and see how your business grows. Or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, come talk to me. I'll help you. If you're willing to do the work, I want to help you, right? But those that actually apply that, I will never hear from you other than to say thank you. You woke me up and now I'm living life beyond the wildest dreams because you're helping people. So I think, and it is, let's say that you say, Matt, you're full of shit, I don't believe you. Let's listen to the consumer. I think in a free marketplace, the consumer tells us a story. What did the consumer tell us whenever all these things with these open door, Zillow offers, and discount brokerages, and all of these things happened, right? Did some people use those services? Sure. Did real estate agents disappear like the headline said? Did real estate agents sell less real estate? No, they didn't. There is a marketplace for the value if you're able to articulate and provide it. And I think this will just expand that gap. Those that adapt will see this as an opportunity. In the 80-20 rule, I think it's the separation season from the top 20% of the top 20% now. 20% of 20% will expand and grow, and they will completely transform their business. I think that it's an opportunity for those that choose to take this serious. Because like if you run your listing business and you don't have options or you don't have value, and you're not able to articulate and win the listing appointment, and you're just hoping that you can list because someone called you and their need to sell their house, like we would all agree you probably need to show more value. What is your marketing plan? What is your proven track record? What value do you provide to a seller? Well, provide value to a buyer. Like, do buyers not deserve value, or do you just want to be a door opener for people, or do you really want to help them with the biggest purchase of their lives?
Yeah, just like your marketing plan for selling shouldn't just be putting a sign in the yard and praying. Your value proposition for buyers shouldn't be just, yeah, call me whenever you see something you like and let's go take a look at it.
100%. Like, every single listing gets a listing agreement signed. Right? Like, there's not a marketplace I know that doesn't get some sort of agreement signed with the seller. Why in the hell are there people that work with buyers that don't get an agreement signed? Why? Well, it's just the way we've always done it. Does the buyer not deserve representation? Do they not deserve value? Is there not value you can provide to them? All this does is put on an even playing field, and those people that aren't willing to provide value, or maybe are just these door openers that do it for less money, will get out of the marketplace because they will realize they have to provide value to compete, because again, we're on an even playing field. Everyone is going to be required. My assumption is everyone's going to be required to have an agreement to work with a buyer. And so if you've ever felt yourself having to go show properties to people that aren't serious, this will help with that. If you develop the right process, guess what? And Ryan, I would love to help you go see 123 Main Street. I would love to help you with that, but there's a requirement, and a part of our process is we have an agreement to make sure that you're represented through this process. I'd love to have 15 minutes for a strategy session to understand your needs and help you through that. We can do it via Zoom, we can do it at the house, whatever, right? But like, that's going to be normal language, and it should be already, right? What is really cool about all this change is the people that I coach, our team, like this stuff is already just second nature to us. This is how we already do business. And so I think it's an opportunity to enhance it, certainly. But for those that are prepared, those that have been doing this, those that understand the importance of actually representing, providing value, it's just an opportunity to level up even further. Ryan, what are your thoughts on all this as an agent in the field, a top producing agent? Are you concerned at all with this?
Yeah, there's concern. I mean, just because there is knowns, right? But I think if you partner with the right people, you're having the right discussions with people in the industry, you're going to find these solutions. I think it's happening. This change, if it happens in July, that's quicker, I'd say, than most people expected for anything.
100%.
Anything.
Nobody expected this news to come out. Like it's been in the headlines for a while that they're working through this. No one expected this to happen as quick.
Most things don't happen that fast.
Yeah.
Right. Whenever it's that big of a change. So yeah, there is concern, but the only concern is, what do I need to do to adjust, adapt, and move forward? But there's also the excitement, honestly, for all the reasons that we've already stated.
Yeah, I think that it's important that we know we control the controllables, right? There's only so much that we can control. We can't control what happens to the lawsuit at this point. We can't. We can just control how we respond. What are we going to do to adapt and overcome, right?
And there's going to be things that are not accurate going around to clients. So
that is saying it nicely.
Yeah, to homeowners and people that are looking to buy. So it's just going to be educating them on the changes, right? It's just going to take a lot of conversations around education of what the truth is.
Yep.
And what options we have available to them.
100%.
Just like it is for interest rates and market changes, and the market's not
just how it should be.
The sky's not falling right now. It's all those same types of conversations. It's
the same conversation, just a different topic that we should already be having, right? I think that's so important to note. This is the same type of conversation, just a different topic. And guess what? In 6 months from now, the topic will probably change again, right? But as a professional, we need to educate and inform, period, right? I think it's important to note too, like 2023, I got some notes here in my phone. 2023, 70,000 agents out of the business. 70,000 agents no longer in the business. That's a lot, right? You put that on top of less than 4 million sales in the US. Lowest since, I don't remember, like lower than 2008, right? Like that's the reality of the real estate market. And if you're listening to this, you're still here. What is this going to do to the industry? What is this going to do to the agent population? 70,000 agents got out last year. If we all agree that this change, which I think everyone would, we will lose more agents than gain more. There'll be the net loss at the end of the year because of this change in the real estate industry, because people are not able to articulate, provide whatever the value may be. We will lose more agents. So if you survived and we had the lowest year in recent history in the number of sales, there are predictions out there that the sales will grow by 20% this year in the United States, which a lot of markets are on track for that. So there's going to be 20%, potentially 20% more homes available, and even less agents than there was last year. Again, there's opportunity, right? Like people aren't going to stop buying and selling real estate. If they were going to, that was 2023, right? Like that's why we had the slow sales. But guess what? Now there's pent up demand. There's all these understandings. There's the normalization of interest rates. There's all kinds of things, right? Going in that factor. So I think that 20% is probably lowball, depending on what happens in some bigger areas. But I predict that home prices home values, yes, will increase, but also the number of homes sold will increase significantly, while agents decrease, pretty comparable to 2023, right? And so even if you're not wanting to provide value, if you're just willing to stick around, right, you will still sell real estate on accident, because there's just not that many agents anymore. We don't have that overpopulated COVID bubble of real estate agents that aren't providing value. A lot of those already got weeded out. And so if you realize that this is an opportunity, just listen to what I'm saying. Meet with every buyer like you would meet with a seller. Meet with them, have a strategy session, help them build a strategy, show them and articulate your value, provide value to them, and help guide them and lead them through this process of buying the biggest purchase of their lives. And you will be just fine. Like that's a the only way I can simplify it.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to end on this. I just wanted this to be a rapid fire. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I think that pretty well covers it.
Cool. And guys, I hope you got value from this. I'm very, very passionate about this. I did my best to keep my emotions in check, but some of those freaking clickbait posts and some of these, like I saw, we're part of EXP Realty. And so a chief strategy officer did a YouTube live this week, breaking all this down. There's 48,000 people tuned in, which is awesome for a YouTube live, right? And I was looking through the comments section. I just had to leave. Like I'll just watch the replay, because everyone was like, well, that's not true. That's not how it's going to work in my market. And everyone was trying to be right on how nobody knows. And, well, you don't know because there's change. Yes, there's going to be changes. But here's what I do know. Those that look at the glass as half empty, guess what? You will have less. Those that look at the glass half full, you will have more. I choose to be optimistic. I choose to adapt and overcome. Look at these challenges. Look at these changes as an opportunity. Look myself in the mirror and say, what do I need to improve on? How does our business model need to change? How does my activity need to change? How does my message need to change? What do I need to change in order to win? And I'm willing to make the changes. And if you're not willing to do that, you will be left behind. But if you are willing to do that, and you are willing to say, like Ryan said, there are things that are unknown. There are things that are going to be challenges. There are things that are concerns, but there's also opportunity. And so I'm not saying don't be concerned. It's cool to be concerned, as long as you're focused on a solution. As long as you're focused on, hey, I want to make sure that I don't overlook this change, because there are changes that I need to make, and there are changes that will continue to come down the pipeline. But all I can control is how I react to these changes. And if I'm willing to do the work, I'm going to win. And what I want to encourage you, if you're listening to this, don't be afraid to do the work. Don't be afraid to find your value, articulate your value, and really provide the value that the clients probably already deserved, and we as an industry just did not provide all the time.
Yeah. Start making changes now based on what you think is going to be happen, what is projected to happen. And then if it's not exactly how it was expected, make the adjustments then. But start working towards solutions, working towards better value propositions, so that whenever that change does happen, you're better prepared.
Yeah, 100%. Like change number one is treat every buyer like a seller. Have a consultation with them. Don't call it a consultation, call it a strategy session. Have a strategy session with all of your buyers. represent them with a buyer's agency agreement or whatever equivalent of your market is, and get that representation before you show the properties. You do that and you will be prepared for this, right? If you're able to articulate that value, that's really, really the difference maker. Cool. Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Yeah, love it.
Guys, if you want more information on this, you want to poke holes in anything I said, challenge me. I'm open. I'm an open book. I believe in that we can all learn from each other. And so maybe there's something I can learn from you. So let me know your thoughts. Comment on wherever you're watching or listening. Let me know your thoughts. Reach out to me directly if I can help. Again, if you're not willing to do the work, I can't help you. But if you're willing to do the work and you want to grow and you want to evolve and you want to use this as an opportunity that I see it as, I'm more than happy to help you. Reach out. Let me know I can help. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.